many of you love pork? I did, Elsa. Bacon, ham, sausage, bologna, salami. Yes, salami even has portions of pork. Hot dogs, pork ribs, etc. I know I do, or should I say I did. In my recent journey to try and eat right, I started to do more research on food that I have been eating for years. I was told pork is bad for you, but didn't understand why, or maybe I didn't want to know why, because it tastes so good. In my research on pigs, I found out some interesting details on them. In this speech, I will discuss why pork is considered bad for you. First, I will discuss how they are raised, their living environment, and what they eat. Next, I will ask you, is pork bad for you? And lastly, discuss the parasites that they carry, and in conclusion, persuade you to cut back on your consumption of pork. Pigs are raised on what are called factory farms. In an article called Factory Farming, written by an organization called the MSPCA Angel, they state that approximately 100 million pigs are raised and slaughtered in the U.S. every year. And as babies, they are subject to painful mutilations without anesthesia or any pain relievers. Notches are removed from their ears for identification purposes, and their tails are clipped to avoid them from biting their tails due to behavioral behavior that occurs because the pig is deprived from living in these types of conditions. You said space bar.
Yeah, you have to play it from the beginning.
Oh, okay. By being kept in factory farm environments, by the age of 2 to 3 weeks, they are ripped away from their mothers and placed in metal barred cages where 15% of piglets have died due to the horrible living conditions. In factory farms, pigs are forced to live in their own feces and vomit and amid corpses of other pigs. Extremely crowded conditions with poor ventilation and filth in the factory causes rampant diseases in pigs that 70% of them have pneumonia by the time they are sent to be slaughtered. In an article titled FarmForward.com, in order to keep pigs alive in conditions that would kill them and to promote unnatural fast growth, the industry keeps pigs on steady diets of antibiotics that we would depend on to treat an illness. The overuse of antibiotics had led to the development of superbacteria or antibiotic-resistant bacterial strains. Ham, bacon, and sausage that we eat may make the drugs that our doctor prescribes for us the next time you get sick completely ineffective. Pigs eat bugs, insects, dead carcasses, feces, urine, whatever leftover scraps. Dr. X wrote in an article on drx.com titled Why You Should Avoid Pork. In it talks about in detail how pigs were considered scavengers of the farm and created to eliminate waste on the farm. Next, the question I asked today, is pork bad for you? In an article by Kristen M. on foodrenegade.com, she seems to think that it depends on the consumption and how it is prepared, and as you, the individual. In a study, Kim Research and Wise Traditional Journal, they performed a blood test on 3 individuals that were on the WAPF diet, which is the Weston A. Price Foundation. This study looked at the blood of the subjects before and after consumption of various kinds of meat: unmarinated pork chops, uncured pastured prosciutto, uncured pastured bacon. It showed in the article how before eating the pork, the red blood cells are free-flowing separately in your body as they normally do. Then tested 5 hours after eating the unmarinated pork chops, the blood cells were highly aggregated. The blood condition was disrupted and showed proof of inflammatory response. FoodNetwork.com displays an article, Pork, Good or Bad, by Dana Angelo. It showed a picture of a nice-looking tenderloin pork on the cover. And she discussed before cooking your pork, you are supposed to store it in the freezer to help kill the bacteria first, Then you need to cook it at 160 degrees Fahrenheit in order to kill the rest of the bacteria in the pork. This leads me to my next point. Even cooking pork at the highest temperature does not kill off some of the parasites or toxins that pork carries. Pork meat is loaded with toxins more than any other meat like beef or chicken, and that is due to what they eat. They do not have sweat glands, therefore a tool that our body uses to get rid of toxins, they don't possess. The CDC, Center for Disease Control, stated that 100 viruses come to us each year from China through pigs. You have H1N1, also known as the swine flu, that made a leap from pigs to humans. Pork carries parasites, one known as trichinosis, which is an infection that humans get from eating undercooked or uncooked pork that contains larvae of the trichinella worm. The worm parasites are very common in pork. The worm most often lives in the cyst of the stomach, opens through stomach acids. Its larvae are released into the blood of the pig. The new worms make homes in the muscles of the pig. Dr. Axe goes on to talk about the digestive process. Animals, including humans, get rid of excess toxins as well as other components of the food eaten that could be dangerous to your health. Common symptoms of trichinella is vomiting, headaches, chills, swollen eye, muscle pain, aching joints, coordination problems, heart issues, and breathing problems, quoted by the CDC. In conclusion, I hope my speech persuaded you, or at least gave you a little more insight on pork and its effects to your body. It is saturated in fat, clogs the arteries, and has twice as much fat than beef or chicken. Thank you.